All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to have you once again on The Truth with Ben Jokes, your trusted channel for political analysis. Tinubu malls establishment of ranches in Abuja. Bola Tinubu has noted the need to establish ranches and improve the lives of rural dwellers in Kwali Area Council of the nation's capital, Abuja. I just left the commissioning of a great mechanization project to come here, and looking at what we saw on our way here, we saw opportunities, prosperity, and the need for the establishment of ranches and reasons to uplift the lives of rural people. Now, please correct me if I'm wrong. Why is the federal government going to be the one to build ranches for herders? Is cattle rearing not a private business? Are the herders going to pay to rent those ranches? After occupying the ranches for 10 years, 15 years in the FCT, will the federal government still be able to reclaim those same portions of land, or do they become properties of these herders? Can the federal government verify the integrity of the herders that will occupy these ranches in the FCT? This is the FCT, for God's sake. It is not a place to give free land to any ethnic group. But the APC will stop at nothing to destroy this country. What a shame. Now, let us look at the top stories. There is heavy chaos in the Tinubu cabinet as we speak. Tinubu in Benue State tried to blame security chiefs for not performing. He even told the IG of police to make arrests, and that one was forced to go and start arresting innocent people. But the Chief of Defense Staff and the National Security Advisor RIBADU have now hit back at Tinubu by saying hunger and poverty have worsened insecurity in Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we should expect one or two sackings soon, because the Chief of Defense Staff and the NSA attributing insecurity to hunger and poverty is a direct criticism of Tinubu's government, and it re-echoes the remarks of Peter Obi. Concurrently, a video of El Rufai talking about the coalition while brutally attacking Tinubu regime began circulating. Before I show you details of these top stories and how Nigerians reacted, let me quickly show you this video of Tinubu disgracing himself as he attempts to clear the Chicago State University saga. He staged a drama with a man from Belarus, calling him his schoolmate and his neighbor while he was at Chicago State University. See the video.
The capital of the industry, the business community of Nigeria. My dear, very good friend, the story must be clear here. Alex Singman, how are you? Thank you, congratulations. Thank you very much. When we were together, thank you. Thank you very much. Alex, to all of you, Alex was my very good neighbor and went to the same school with me in Chicago. Never did we dreamt that I would be in this position as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and Alex will be a successful businessman from Belarus to bring about a very successful collaboration and bilateral relationship that will promote economic prosperity and future of our two countries. Alex, thank you very much for everything. I believe our university will be very, very proud that we are doing this here today. We are proud for what you are doing. Alex, I believe you are happy at what is happening here today. So more grease to your elbow.
You saw that. What a disgrace. Even the mic went off because it knew that one of the biggest lies of all time was about to be dropped into it. So the mic went off. And from the way the so-called Mr. Alex was acting, you would know that this man was under tension. Or is it that he is not mentally stable because he bowed his head more than 10 times? You claim you attended a school and the registrar who signed your certificate had not yet been employed by the school as of the time you claimed you graduated. The O-level result that you claimed you gained the admission with is also clearly fake because the date on the O-level shows clearly that that school had not even been established at the time you claimed you graduated. These are some of the issues on ground that have remained unanswered, the questions that have remained unanswered, and you are bringing a clown out claiming he was your schoolmate. What a shame. While other African countries are moving forward, making their lives better, Nigeria is still trying to verify whether so-called leaders went to school or not. What a disaster. Now, let us look at the top stories. First is that video of El Rufai speaking on the coalition as he completely destroys the Tinubu regime. And next is that update from Chief of Defense Staff and National Security Advisor directly putting huge blame on Tinubu as they list hunger and poverty as the major causes of insecurity in today's Nigeria. Let's take that video from El Rufai. See the video.
Given that very strongly, I believe that the unity, look, Nigerians are tired of the APC. We know that, we have polled that. There is 91% disapproval of this administration across the country, 91% disapproval. It's the worst in Nigeria's history. But Nigerians are looking for a credible option.
Yeah, but
they want to see people coming together, putting aside their differences and ambitions and giving them an alternative to this failure of a government.
But that's the key thing. Can you put aside your personal ambitions?
You've got
yourself, you've got Atiku Abubakar, you've got Peter Obi, you've got Rotimi Amechi, you have so many big political, wigs with huge, ambitions.
Big names does not equate ambitions, okay? You've mentioned my name. I have no ambition. Okay, I just feel that having contributed to bringing about this tragedy to Nigeria by contributing to the emergence of Bola Tinubu as president, I should contribute in my last lap, okay, because I'm 65, I should be retiring. In my last lap, let me
You've got a long way to go.
Let me contribute towards removing this evil that I believe will destroy Nigeria if left unchecked.
You heard that. El Rufai said he has no ambition to be anything. He said he only wants to right his wrongs. He wants to remove the calamity that he brought upon Nigeria. Now, El Rufai's biggest problem is the fact that Nigerians do not trust him. Else, everything he said is true. Tinubu will destroy Nigeria if left unchecked. So all those who worked for him in 2023 should be working against him now if they care about this country. But can El Rufai be trusted? No. As a matter of fact, if you tell me now that El Rufai is still working for Tinubu, I can't emphatically say no. But the fact is, in politics, you don't think like that and just run with it. When you think like that, what you do is that you begin to tread carefully with him and then you'll be watching him closely. The biggest problem of the coalition remains the fact that Atiku might never step down, and it makes absolutely no sense for Obi to deputize him. So that is a serious problem there. How will they solve that problem? I cannot say. And the next problem is election related. For the votes to count, results must be transferred from polling unit to the IREV. If this is in place, Tinubu will be out of office before 4 p.m. I can guarantee you that. Because just as El Rufai said, Nigerians are sick and tired of the APC. He said 91% of Nigerians have grown disgruntled and are ready to reject the APC. That is why I keep saying that making the votes count is even more important than forming a coalition. And just as Nigerians were yet reacting to that update from the Chief of Defense Staff and the National Security Advisor began making the rounds. These men re-echoed Peter Obi's position that says that hunger and poverty are one of the major causes of insecurity in Nigeria. But this is a direct attack on the government of their boss, Tinubu. Will it go down well with him? Look at how the papers reported it. Hunger, poverty, now national security threats, says Defense Chief. The Chief of Defense Staff, Christopher Musa, says hunger and poverty have become national security threats. The seminar with the theme, Combating Hunger and Poverty for Sustainable Peace and Development in Nigeria, was organized in collaboration with the Office of the National Security Advisor and the National Defense College. Mr. Musa noted that the disruption of farming communities and illegal occupation of farmlands contributed to food inflation, displacement, and mass migration, destabilizing the economy and national cohesion. The North Central region, particularly Benue, once considered Nigeria's food basket, is a clear example of how banditry, displacement, and farmer-herder conflicts have devastated agricultural productivity. He said the Chief of Defense Staff called for urgent investment in grassroots agricultural development and urged the government and stakeholders to reposition farming as a noble and rewarding profession by enhancing access to credit infrastructure and market linkages. With the migration of rural youth to urban centers, agricultural productivity is declining. We must make farming attractive again, not as a last resort, but as a national duty and a prestigious calling. He added, I assure you, the armed forces of Nigeria, in collaboration with other security agencies and with the support of the people, remain resolute in overcoming all security threats. He said, you heard that. Now, if you have been following Peter Obi for a long time, you will know that this man has been singing this as a chorus for the past 3 years in this country. He said the approach that we are using towards fighting insecurity and insurgency in Nigeria is good. He's not saying it is bad. He said, but it is not sufficient. He said you have to find the root cause of it. Why is it that these men can walk into your community and recruit your young people to join them? You say they are coming from outside Nigeria. Fine. How are they able to come from outside Nigeria, walk straight into your own societies and begin recruiting your youths? He said it is because of poverty. It is because of hopelessness. It is because of hunger that if these young people cannot find food to eat, if their hands cannot find work to do, they will be easy to recruit by these charlatans. When he first said it, the APC came down heavily on him, that he does not know the fundamentals of insecurity. He's just talking anyhow, looking for cheap popularity. Years later, the Chief of Defense Staff and the Office of the National Security Advisor have now organized a program to tell the government directly to tackle the issues of hunger and poverty. And this is in response to Tinubu's remarks when he went to Benue, because he began questioning the security forces. What are they doing? They are not doing enough. He said, how come they have not made arrests? Now they are trying to tell him his own part. Oga, the hunger and poverty that you brought upon this country is at an extraordinary scale. That is why young people are frustrated, they are disillusioned, and they are running to join these miscreants. Now, you may defend the Tinubu regime as much as you want, but you cannot run away from the fact that this thing is becoming a pattern, and it is repeated. The Chief of Naval Staff came out and said that only divine intervention can help Nigeria in the fight against insecurity. The Minister of Interior came out and blamed Tinubu for not bringing out enough money to secure our borders. He said the budget looks like a joke and the chief of defense staff on so many occasions, also spoke about that border porosity, and now he is speaking about hunger and poverty in collaboration with the office of the National Security Advisor. Does this not tell you that there is serious chaos in that cabinet? And the chaos is going to get deeper and deeper. You know why? Because all these things they are saying, it's not as if these things are strange to Tinubu, but there are measures that you put in place and it will become difficult for the Fulanis to operate. Will you be able to put those measures in place if you have an agreement with the Fulanis to operate, if you are in power? If you signed a deal with them to carry out their activities when you formed your party, the APC, will you be able to take these steps against them? No, you won't. If we criticize the regime, some of you will think we are being emotional, but that is the Chief of Defense Staff and the National Security Advisor, the Office of the National Security Advisor, coming together to complain about hunger and poverty, being two of the chief sponsors of insecurity in Nigeria. They just affirmed the words of Peter Obi, and I am sure that Aso Rock is angry as we speak, because this was a very big event and it is trending right now how members of the Tinubu cabinet can come out and endorse all that Peter Obi has been saying as regards insecurity. But is he going to work with it to see if we can reduce this menace? I am 100% sure that he will not, because they actually have a hand in this insecurity. Why? Because they are the APC. They have come to steal, to kill, and to destroy. And that is why I keep telling Nigerians that for us to have a country that we can be proud of, we must come together, keep our sentiments aside, and get the APC out of power. But until then, make I still enter town. Make I go get some ogbonge political news wey una go like. Why? Because na because of una. Na I dey here, so don't go away. Don't go away.